multiple. It's recording our Discord screen. And so now I should be able to go back to what we were doing before, like go to the YouTube studio. If it doesn't crash on me. No, it's holding up. It's holding up. Just take
That's
it.
good. It's very complicated.
No, I got this. Just I think
Awesome though.
I might want to try StreamYards because it looks so much smoother, even though so many people complain about this thing. So now, where was that? It was in content, right? Yeah. So take us to content, and then it was it live or videos? I think it was videos, right? It was live. Can't remember. Oh no, it was videos because I uploaded them. Right. So it should be here somewhere. At the end. Ah, there we go. And this was our first episode. There we go. And I just need to take it to here. And then, like, now I can play the video.
Which has blurred the lines quite well, though it doesn't take
Like
too much effort.
Good. Yeah, I can hear the audio.
She says, as well as her logic.
So what's he talking about here?
Logic in the video. I forget her name, but that Dutch woman who. But yet it's presented quite well. So I'm sure it's not a single effort. It wasn't just her. She states there was a lot of research done by the all of the anon.
I forgot what we were talking about here.
But at the same time, I think it wasn't just a level of research, but in terms of planning and how the montage, how it was made.
We were talking about QAnon.
Manipulation and.
Oh yeah, okay.
Remember that?
A lot of search people were.
Yes,
That's
I was sort of. Yeah, I was like,
you have to go
sort of aware of what was happening. Wasn't he? Was the QAnon guy? He was posting to 4chan a lot about this is going to happen and that's going to happen going forward in the Trump administration and stuff, or was it other stuff?
No, I think it was like it's suspected that it was a psyop. Like it was like it was done by the government to kind of like mislead people. He was basically trying to explain that to me and all that because I was like, back then I was watching this QAnon stuff. It was kind of hopeful, right? I was trying to put. No, go on.
I remember going on 4chan and seeing Q's posts.
Yeah.
On these 4chan threads, and it was like unsubstantiated, like this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen going forward, and we're all gonna go to hell in different ways and stuff.
Well, I remember there was always like, one of the things that I remember it doing is it was trying to make Trump into a legend or a demigod that he was going to save, because everything was going to crap at that point, right? It was like COVID was just coming up, and then the election was coming, and then I think Trump wasn't doing too well in the polls and stuff. So, leading up to the Biden-Trump election, they were putting this QAnon crap to kind of like mislead people into believing something that was just like stupid. Trump was a demagogue, for the conservatives, and he was going to rise as some kind of hero and, win the Biden-Trump election and stuff, so it kind of gave a bunch of, I was watching it and I was kind of somewhat inspired, because of all the shit that was going on.
Yeah.
The whole world was turning upside down,
Yeah.
So anybody was willing to believe into anything. So I think what happened was this Q guy came on. If it was a psyop, right? So the government would do this, do these videos, to kind of get people to watch them and excite about this QAnon stuff, right? And it kind of got them not focusing on what needed to be done, because you had a bunch of people who were like, oh, we're going to be saved, we're waiting to be saved. This election's going to save us, and then all of a sudden Biden won. So
Yeah, no, I'm
You
with
know.
you. And I think they must have done it sort of on multiple platforms,
oh
those
yeah.
different themes. Because I just
Yeah.
have this distinct memory of kicking about on 4chan and though someone was posting like really long threads and all the other anons were like
Well,
chiming in.
it was almost like a prophecy like type thing, right? You'd
Hmm.
watch these things,
Yeah,
read these things, and they were almost like prophetic. You
yeah,
know.
and it's like what's going to happen on this date and stuff like this, and
Yeah.
then nothing happened.
And they tried to tie in a whole bunch of like, this conspiracy stuff, and then tried to. Well, I mean, it's all there. I mean, the swamp, and the deep state and all that stuff.
Yeah, like
I
the
mean,
Black Swan events and stuff.
yeah, but I mean, they try to make it a lot bigger than it. Well, I mean, it's big because these are basically people who are like appointed in the government, and
Mhm.
they don't change with the regime in place, right, or with the
That's
party in place.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. The notion of the permanent bureaucracy,
yeah, it's stupid,
the
and
the
so they
managerial
can,
state rolls on while like we have the illusion of change
yeah,
democratically, right? Yeah.
and in the background, people are still doing the same shit over
I have a
over
book.
and over again.
I have a Here. I'll just grab the book that I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I just want to show you.
sure.
It's this fellow named Orrin McIntyre.
Oh
He
yeah,
wrote this
the
book called
total
The
state.
Total State, and
Okay.
he draws on he draws on Sam Francis's work, which Sam Francis is dead now, but he wrote a book called The Leviathan and Its Enemies,
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
and he yeah,
Yeah.
and it was published. Leviathan and Its Enemies was published by, I have it downstairs somewhere.
Yeah.
It was published by Washington Summit Publishers, which was a publishing imprint managed by a really notorious fellow named Richard Spencer. If you know him, I don't
That
like
I
him.
don't.
I don't
Okay.
like Richard Spencer. But anyway, apparently they found like this long lost manuscript um, by Sam Francis about his theories of the managerial state. And
Hmm.
this guy, Orrin McIntyre, read it, and it's thinner, but it's a good book, and he talks about what you just said, the permanent nature of the surveillance state and its accompanying bureaucracy and stuff like that. And it's something that it's important to talk about because we're all in that situation.
Well, even in the Canadian government,
Yeah, like exactly like
especially in the Canadian government. I mean, the Senate is almost like useless in our case.
yeah. I
You
I
know.
feel like I feel like the Senate does some good work in committee, like when they're kind of left to their own devices and they're able to do these like fact-finding missions. But I agree with you, like the Senate as it stands is a rubber stamp organization for the bills put forth by, the House of
House.
Commons.
Yeah.
And that people were talking about that the other day about, bills. What is it? Bill 293 and Bill C-63. One of them is the Online Harms Act. I think it's
Oh, is
Bill
it
C-6.
like the American one, the 230,
It
the law,
might
the
be.
230 law
I think it might
regarding
be
the internet?
similar. Yeah, I think it's very similar, and it also has these like censorship implications because it's couched in these moral terms. Like
Oh yeah.
we're doing, like they couch it very in a moral universal terms, but really it's about surveilling enemies of leftist
The government.
progressivism. I think. Yeah, the government.
Well, the government.
The
Let's be
government.
honest here.
The
government.
ruling class. The ruling class in power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why the CBC is just a propagandist channel.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
I mean, on the whole,
And
I mean, it's not bad. It's just that when it comes to like news and politics, you can see the bias. It's
yeah,
it,
I know. I
you
really
know.
hope.
Well, it's just I was listening. You were watching or you watch what's it, D-Day Cobra, right? Or you started watching D-Day Cobra, right?
Thanks to you, I've
Jeremy Grimes and stuff, the Geeks and
thanks to you,
Gamers
I've
dude.
tuned in a bit more.
Okay.
But I don't know
Well,
him too well yet. But
it's just that I listened to him the other night, and they have this idea that most of Canada is just left, and they were talking about the whole thing about how he kept saying like how Trump, at first he thought this whole thing about Trump saying that Canada will eventually be the 51st state, and at first he thought it was just a joke, but now he's like he keeps talking about it, and stuff. So that's why a lot of people are focusing on that. And you got the whole thing with what I think Kevin O'Leary a few days
yes,
ago had met
I
with
did.
Trump
I
and
did see
Mar-a-Lago
that.
about
Yeah.
the basically freer trade between Canada and U.S., where the idea would be in exchange for the resources we obviously have and they don't. There would be an exchange, and then the idea would be that all the money coming in the north would allow us to afford better defenses of the north, which is mainly what is United States concerned with Canada. Because we're basically an open border to them at this point, because you've got the Chinese coming in Vancouver, and then making their way through the northern border any which way they know how. I think the other day even my parents were saying that there was an Indian family apparently who tried to cross the border in Calgary and froze to death.
That's true. Yes.
So
Because
that border's open.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. And I saw some clips from that Kevin O'Leary. He was presenting his argument. Yeah, that because he's for it. He's a real.
Oh yeah.
He would be totally for and like a more integrated North American commercial space or trade, what economic zone or whatever you want to call it.
I mean, he does the Shark Tank stuff and all that. He's all about business,
Yeah.
So.
And you know what? I'm so ambivalent. Like on the one hand, yes. On the other hand, no. Like I was saying the other day that, I said I would be for. I would basically. I said if Canada was able to get rid of Trudeau, get rid of him, have an election, and have Pierre Poilievre come in and meet with Trump, come up with a good North American free trade agreement that sort of does away with whatever was agreed upon in 2019 and sort of reestablish good relations and good trading relations.
Yeah.
And while Canada maintains its sovereignty, I think for me that would be ideal. But then I was thinking, but if the only way to get rid of a Trudeau regime and its open borders and wokeism and all the rest of it, and the only way to get rid of that was to integrate into the United States, I would say, okay, let's do it. Let's become the 51st state and get rid of wokeism. But so I don't know how you feel like about that, but that's my thought anyway.
Well, I've worked with so many people in the States, like from just previous jobs and all that, and I like working with United States people. I like working with business from the United States,
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, I mean, they are the friendliest people I've ever met.
Yeah. And they're more. Go ahead.
No, just I'm pretty sure. Like especially when I was listening to Jeremy last night, he was basically saying that they all view us as like all left. So when they were
Yes.
talking about that, as it was getting to, yeah, initially what I want to bring up was that he had basically said that, what would be the point of integrating Canada when it'd be like integrating another California?
Yes.
And that's their view of
I've
us,
heard. Yes, exactly. I've been
you know?
kicking about on some spaces on X just to be a fly on the wall, some of
Yeah,
those audio chats.
yeah,
And exactly, Mike, like that's the sentiment that I'm hearing too. That everybody this question has come up a lot. What do you think about as a Canadian being the 51st state? And they do view us as like carte blanche, like the entire country is leftist,
yeah.
and it's not true. It's more nuanced than that, right?
Oh, much
And
more, especially when you go
and
towards like the Calgary, Alberta, maybe
yeah,
not too far west like BC, but everywhere in
yeah,
between, basically,
exactly.
like,
And also like the urban rural divide here, even in the Ottawa area, like the hardened core of the city is pretty leftist, I would say. But then you
yeah,
have sort of the suburbs and the outlying areas is more blue, right? Like conservative blue in our case. But yeah, and that's the thing. Like it's almost like if we were integrated as the 51st state, what would it look like, and how would they divide up the regions, and how would our regions vote? And it would
yeah,
be nice if it would be really nice if we didn't have to go through all that nonsense if we could reestablish what relations were before the Trudeau era. And I think like I wish in my heart that Pierre Poilievre gets elected and then he goes down south and meets with Trump, and maybe Stephen Harper comes with them,
no,
and they renegotiate the provisions in NAFTA or whatever they're calling it these days that do away with Chrysler Freeland and all that
oh
2019
yeah.
bullshit.
Well,
Um,
that's the other thing too. I mean, I remember the Harper government a little bit, but I have a feeling I've never really understood it. I mean, he's always gotten a bad rap, that whole government. I mean, remember, um, I think it was it Kretschmann? I remember the PCs had gotten to a point where they pissed off so much of the country that they almost got decimated to 3 people. Remember that? Or something
yes,
like
that
really
was.
ridiculously low?
I think that I want to say that that was transitioning from Mulrooney's government to he stepped down and Kim Campbell stepped
Yes,
in,
Kim Campbell, that's it.
and
Yep.
then Kim Campbell got absolutely decimated, as you said, decimated, destroyed, and they
Yep.
had like 3 seats, and then the Chrétien era started, right? And then
Yeah.
Chrétien
And
was
then
in there
I
for like,
actually remembered that whole
yeah,
deal, especially there was like another, in Quebec, there was another sovereignty vote
yeah,
during the same time.
in
And that's
in
when,
95,
yeah.
in
And then you had
1995,
that,
yeah.
like in Montreal, there was like this big, massive protest where there was like Canadian flag being like passed
Mm.
down through downtown Montreal and all that. I was under that flag. So,
Cool.
like,
That's
I remember
that's
that, and it's like, and I was in university, and I was there with a bunch of engineers, and we were just like, all right, this is Canada,
woo.
we're fighting for our sovereignty, and we want
Yeah,
Canada and stuff, and that's what the liberals were trying to push in and stuff, and
yeah,
but little did I know that like this is the same liberals who is now the Trudeau government, and they're a bunch of fuck ups,
yeah,
so
yeah,
you know they're like,
yeah. That's cool you were there at that time because that's an important kind of watershed event
oh, it
in our
was.
country. Yeah,
But it was
awesome.
more. I felt it was more to keep the country together, like because Quebec was thinking of separating again, and you know
Yeah,
that protest kind of just like pushed it into Quebec's like, we're not doing this for a while.
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Because like I remember people from Ottawa were going to Montreal
Hmm.
to like wave the Canadian flag and
Yep.
make the case vocally for unity and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
And
Chrétien
I
was there
think,
too,
and
right?
Chrétien was there, and I really do think that you remember Ad Scam when there's all that controversy about um, cash envelopes of cash under the table. That was
Oh yeah, yeah. Wasn't that
all
Paul
those
Martin? It was Paul
that
Martin,
was
wasn't it?
under Chrétien. But
Yeah, but
then
then
and then
Paul Martin
Martin,
tried to get
because
in, and then that somehow sullied his chances of becoming prime minister, or
yeah,
something
like
like that.
because I remember, I think Ad Scam was essentially an under the table scheme in order to promote Canadian nationalism throughout the
Oh yeah, yeah,
country.
yeah. I remember now. Yeah,
So
yeah.
it has this link to counteracting sovereignty, but they did it in such a underhanded way
Underhanded
that
way.
yeah,
Yeah,
and people
that it
lost their
came up
jobs
as
and
a
all that.
scandal in the end, like a corruption scandal. You
And
know.
it's funny because it was one of those things that um because in so many ways, like looking back, people talk about how Chrétien was in many ways a right of center prime minister, despite the fact that he was a liberal, because he did a lot of things that were deliberately aimed to curb separatism and entrench the monarchy and stuff like that. And he
Right.
came out and he was in loggerheads with the separatists, but and there's all this and the referendum and stuff under his watch anyway. But
Well,
now,
it really killed it.
yeah,
Um, because right now, I mean, ever since that time, because that was the time of Pauline Marois and the pot banging and all that crap. I remember
oh,
all that.
okay.
And then I think that's the one. Basically, after that attempt, or maybe it was no, that was afterwards. That the pot bang was afterwards. So
Oh,
there
I
was
forget
another
that.
sovereignty vote, like later on.
Mhm.
And I think because of the one, well, the protests that you saw with the flag and all that, and then the one afterwards. I mean, these days when people talk about sovereignty, it's a joke. It's not as strong as it used to be because people are so worried about so many other things, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's like way on the back burner. Like
It was so
yeah.
bad enough that they didn't vote for the Parti Québécois, but we got the intermediate CAC people basically in
Oh, yeah,
charge.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
My sister Shannon was telling me about that because she lives there now, so she's paying
yeah.
close attention.
No, they're kind of like watered down separatists in the end. They
Oh,
still want to
okay.
separate. they just
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah,
just
yeah.
take a watered down approach to everything, kind of
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, it's almost like they pick their spots, right? It's like when the time is right, they ramp up the separatist talk when it
Yeah,
suits their interests, right?
yeah,
Oh man.
for sure.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
like I
that's
was
the
just
only reason why they exist. The Bloc Québécois and the federal government. I mean, that's it's uh,
yeah,
it's it's almost traitorous if you think about it.
yeah, I know,
They're a
I know.
party to separate. You know.
Do you remember Air Force?
Yep.
The Royal
They're not
Canadian.
around
They
anymore.
had I haven't watched them in like in a few like a decade, I swear, but we used to watch it kind of regularly in the
Yeah.
90s. And
Yeah. They usually made
the,
fun of the conservative government, didn't they?
yeah, and the tall guy, he used to play was it Lucien Bouchard who had the flesh-eating disease in his
Yeah.
leg?
Yeah.
Well, they had a scenario where he was dressed up as Lucien Bouchard, and he was like, and the scenario was Lucien Bouchard and the Bloc Québécois had won the election, the federal election, and they're
Okay.
like, so, Lucien, now that you've become prime minister, are you still going to separate the province of Quebec? And he was like, no. What would be the point? I love that. That was just
We
that
just
was made
turned
me
the rest
laugh.
of Canada like French. Yes.
Yeah, it's like, why? We won the election. Why would we bother?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I don't
Oh my
know.
goodness!
Well, that's the other thing. I didn't really understand the whole thing. Like the whole. Like I get it, what them wanting sovereignty, but it's like so hypocritical. I mean, like here's Lucien Bouchard, right? He's dead now, I think. But anyways, here he is. He wants us to separate the whole country, so separate the province from the country, so that he can like solidify the culture and make it heavily French. And then he sends his kids to Oxford.
Right.
I mean, his
I didn't know
what,
that, but that
what
is
the hell,
hilarious.
man?
I didn't know that, but that's so funny. It's like go to
So-
the most like Anglophile like place.
So why would I believe a leader if I was into sovereignty? Why would I believe a leader who sends his children to like the better English schools to educate
Yeah.
his children, and who just basically wants to keep the rest of the province like ignorant?
Oh, that's so funny.
That's I mean,
Oh.
that's why I could never take anyone on the separatist side seriously, because they just basically wanted to make their own little country and be kings of it. That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, and I feel like a big part of me over the last while is for ethno-nationalism in a way, like, but with Quebec, like how would they even do it? Like they're just so dependent on transfers from the federal
Well, yeah.
Canadian state. Like I don't even know how they would do it. How
No,
they would survive.
Quebec. Well, here's the sad part. I find, like, just with what we have in the province alone, we can. But the thing is, I don't think we have the right, not know-how, but wisdom, I guess.
Yeah.
To figure out how to make this a country. Because they're constantly just basically fighting with the English. Wanting their own sovereignty, and they don't even really get how this fits in the world. Well, if you're going to be a nation, that means if you're going to want to make money and not just hold yourself in and try to live off the land and crap, that means you're going to have to produce stuff that people want to. You're going to have to do business with the rest of the world, and a majority of the rest of the world isn't French. And yet you just want your people to kind of like live in this land and not look outside and just basically be fat, stupid, and ignorant and just speak French. I got no problem with French, but it's just that whole stupid mentality to preserve your language. We'll just hole ourselves in and just tell everybody to speak French, and instead of like innovating and making it like, instead of making people want to learn French because they're interested in the culture, that
like,
should be the way you should do it,
Yeah, like I feel like regular people, like regular citizens in Quebec who live in these towns that are half English, half French, they find like this pragmatic way of dealing with it based on need. But then these zealots these elite zealots come down and they have these heavy-handed legislation and they crush like that equilibrium
Well,
that
they do
regular
that so
people
many
seem
ways
to be
to
able
their
to
own
find.
people.
It's so stupid. So stupid.
Well, like, for example, like if you graduate from a French university, right, you have to pass a French leaving exam. English, same thing, right? In the English system, they make it so that, well, if you get a B on any English course that you take, you're exempted from the test, right? And even if you do take the test, most people pass the English test, right? Well, from what I heard from the French leaving test, it's like it has a very low passing rate. Like some people actually take it twice.
Oh, so they made it super hard then.
It's ridiculously super hard from what I heard. Even
that's
people
so
who
stupid.
think they speak French, like from Paris, fail this stuff.
Oh, that's so stupid. Yeah. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
I mean, French is a hard enough language as it is.
Yeah.
But to make, like, all you really want to prove is that the people who graduate university can speak the basic language, not write, magnum opuses and stuff. I mean, if you wanted to do that, then you definitely do a doctorate, whatever.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be the requirement to get your bachelor's.
It's so it's idiotic. Yeah, it's like a punitive thing. You have to stay in the province until you could
no, I know.
recreate
So
Balzac's
a lot of
best work
French
or
kids,
something.
I keep hearing, who go to university and have to do this exam, they just keep bitching about how hard this exam is. You know,
Yeah.
and they don't do any favors for their own people. This is what I
No,
find.
I agree.
You know, they just try to keep them ignorant, and then they try to make it so that they vote for them, so that eventually they can make their own fiefdom. You know, and
Yeah.
enslave us all.
Yeah,
Essentially,
yeah.
that's the feeling I get from the separatist government.
Yeah.
You know, because if they were really into their like culture and stuff, they wouldn't be sending their kids to Oxford.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like so hypocritical.
Yeah. So that's Quebec's story. I mean,
I know, yeah.
other than that, the people are wonderful. I mean, I like having
I
the
know.
French culture around. You know, I like
Yeah.
that we do have French here. You know, at first,
Me
being
too.
Anglo, it sucked. But, in my later adulthood, I kind of like hearing the French. And
Yeah.
these days, I kind of understand it. So,
Mhm.
I got no problems with it. It's just this whole attitude to, make French the dominant language here is so hypocritical. And it's petty. A lot of the times the language police just hits these small businesses just to be petty.
Yeah.
Because I get the feeling they enjoy ruining people's days. They put these people in the government to do these things.
Yeah,
Harass
that's
people.
that is a good point that they want to make it difficult for English small business because
Yeah,
they, like to the point where they're driven out and
yeah, and then most of the English who live here, despite all the crap they've been put through, just love it here, and
yeah.
they don't do any favors for us. You know,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
Well,
You get used to it after a while.
I was thinking like if we were to just like prepare for the podcast,
Mhm.
would you want to sort of like I don't know what we could do. Like we could talk about current events
Well,
in the
that's the thing.
States and
Yeah,
current events in Canada
it'll
or
be. We'd probably have to
America.
have an agenda kind
Yeah.
of thing to keep stuff on track, right? And we're going to want to be
Mhm.
able to um, do a live show where we just go through the agenda and then just stick to it. You know,
Mhm.
um, we could try. We could do. I don't know. We could try once a week at least.
Yeah.
And if we're adventurous, maybe twice, and see where we go from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I find is especially with YouTube, the hardest part really is just to build the catalog, like start putting the videos in and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing I wanted to bring up. What do we call ourselves? Do we want our own new channel? We're gonna want to do. I guess we're gonna want to do that. I mean,
I think
we could
that's a
plant
good
it in the
idea.
common nonsense, but we should really just do a separate channel for this and stuff, and just link to it. For
Yeah,
our own channels.
like a new and I've just used my name from Twitch. I go by Microwavable on Twitch, but we can. I'd like to maybe if we get into this, like make up my own Twitter account
Yeah,
under
go for it.
under the pseudonym that we're going to use for this podcast and stuff like that. And yeah, I was
Yeah.
saying to Shannon like Mike and I are going to do a podcast and we're going to come up with a name probably. And Shannon was like, "Oh, like," and I suggested like, Mike and Mike read the news or open mic with Mike and Mike. I don't or
Yeah.
Eminem or
Well,
I don't know. We'll
that's
come
the
up
other
with
thing
something.
too. I mean, am I going to use the common nonsense, and you're going to use Microwavable and all that? I mean, I could also make it shorter and do weathers again and stuff.
Yeah, whatever you decide, like, because
And
yeah,
then we have our
Microwavable.
Twitters, and then we're going to want to also make a Twitter separate for our own channels that this will podcast to. Because if we go
Yeah.
serious on this, eventually we could up the restream like actually pay for it. And then we can do multicasting to Twitter and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Cool.
I'm
Yeah,
trying
like
to
people
think.
are doing that on Twitter big time now.
Well, a lot of the podcasters just say, you know, if you got an idea, just go on and just make videos. And then the first hard bit is just to fill up your channel with videos. And once you got the videos on, you know, eventually people start stumbling into your stuff and then you start exploring your channel and then you just do it once, twice a week. Just keep filling
Yeah.
the catalog with videos and stuff. You know.
And I guess, and if we get so that we get into the groove, we can maybe react on, you know, something
Stuff.
that's stuff
Yeah.
that when the news cycle explodes, you know, as it does, we
Yeah.
can maybe hop on and do something.
I want to do better
Yeah.
than what I did here, kind of thing. But I
Yeah.
want to be able, like, what the little discussion we had at the beginning is kind of what I was going for. But I'm trying to figure a way to make it a little more that people will just want to sit in and just listen to us banter and stuff.
Yeah. Like the free flow, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I
Exactly. We
mean,
can.
what we just did, where we're just talking about Canada politics, I mean, if we had the agenda up, we just go through it, aim to do at least like half an hour to an hour, twice a week, see where it goes, just fill up the catalog for about a month, and just be very consistent. That's usually what you have to do to start, and all that, and then
Yeah.
we can work on the other stuff. The other thing is, do we do a website just to center everything? To point to our videos and where to find our stuff. I can easily do that. I mean, here, let me show you. I did this. I'm going to show you. Actually, not that. I did this website. Just get this. I did this website.
Cool.
And it's a blog. And it's built from scratch. I could repurpose this one or build another one just like this, but more towards what we want to do, like, you know, with our channel and everything. We could do, if you want to do articles, we can post them here, and we can use these to point to the videos, and just have another website to center everything.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
our
yeah.
events and stuff. So I think we're gonna need something like this, and then we're
Awesome.
obviously gonna use our YouTube channel to do that. And then once we can multi-stream, maybe Twitter. Twitter might actually be the good thing because you know about Twitter, right? They do pay you, right? If people look at your content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Because
I haven't looked into it.
D-Day
I think
Cobra, apparently he makes about 900 a month just from
Oh,
just from that.
that's pretty good. Holy shit.
From his Twitter interaction and stuff.
Yeah, because if you sign up for Twitter Premium or whatever it is, you get, depending on your engagement, don't they give you money and stuff?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Cool. Wow, that's
And we can
awesome.
post the whole video on Twitter.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That would be
So we can
great.
definitely do that.
was
So what are we calling ourselves?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the common nonsense is so good. It's just that maybe because it's new, we could try to come up with like a name unique to us.
I was
And
actually, do we have? I was thinking the other day. Although if we are news.
We Are News. Yeah.
Yeah. Is
That's
that
good.
anywhere?
I don't
Like
know.
on YouTube? I'm checking right
I'm
now.
not sure.
I'm gonna see if there is a We Are News the channel. Yeah, there is a We Are News, but it's a hashtag.
Oh, okay.
There's all kinds of We Are News. Okay, maybe not that. Oh yeah, there is a We Are News. Someone took that. We are new 7638. So there's several of them. Okay, we need a
Okay.
name.
Did you want to go punny or
Doesn't matter.
if yeah, we could just
If you
drink a
can
lot
find
of
something,
coffee.
it's
Yeah.
got to be catchy.
Yeah. I was thinking like a
News.
play on our names, but
Hmm.
Mike and
We are
Mike.
current. I don't know. Mike and Mike. I don't know. Mike and Mike. M&M's. No, there's
M&Ms.
a rapper. There's a rapper.
There's a candy. There's a rapper. There's a candy rapper. Yeah.
We are current. There's a we are current. Wow. Okay, let's get away from this we thing. What do you got? It's got to be something.
Yeah, there has to be something.
We've talk something? No. Any cool books? Anything Canadian? Come on, you're the history man.
Yeah, like I remember there was one of my favorite Canadian history stories is where this elephant named Jumbo escaped from the zoo and then got run over by a train. So we could call it Jumbo News.
It's probably taken.
Oh my god, I'm kidding. Oh shit.
It probably is taken.
Ugh.
Jumbo News. No, it's just. Oh, it's a
No.
kid. It's this kid doing news.
That's hilarious. Oh my
All
god.
right. I love some of the names that some like Asian people come up with, because it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like Crunchyroll. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, that is good. That is good.
I don't want to use anything with wet in it. I don't know.
No.
People
Yeah,
see-
yeah, we
think
have
that's
exactly. We have
cool
to
or
be
something like that.
mindful. We have to be
Yeah.
mindful of connotations.
But I guess wet means fresh, and fresh means current, something like that. I think that's what they
Okay.
usually do with that.
I think, yeah, we'll have to kind of let our unconscious minds kind of help us out.
Yeah.
Just kind of think about it for a little bit.
I want
Yeah,
to
and
do
it can
what we're
be
doing,
any.
but how are we gonna do this? And then there's we're gonna come up with like starting in sequence, because we'll want to ramp in 5 minutes saying we're going live, and then gives chance people to get ready to watch our stuff live and stuff. So that's why I have, like, I don't know if you watch my videos on YouTube, but I now have an opening for 5 minutes or 4 minutes.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Tell you the truth, I did that all with AI and all that.
Sweet, 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 sweet.
Like, here, have you seen it?
I don't
Oh,
think
sweet.
so.
I haven't seen it. Okay, hang on.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, if there's an audience, it gives them time to gather, right? To hop in. Yeah.
Actually, have you seen where's that? I go to videos. I did an opening at one point.
And I promise I'll shave.
Did I ever play this for you? I did an opening.
Okay. Can you
and
play
it
it
was-
again?
Yeah, I'll play it again. I did an opening for Common Nonsense, and I used a song with one of the free, not free. I have a paid account, and people sell their songs or licenses for the songs. So if you have a membership, you can use the whole song.
Oh,
So
cool.
I've actually have a license for this song.
Nice.
I could revamp the video, but just to give you an idea, this was the revamped opening, not the crappy one Pascal did. This is the one I did.
Oh, you did
this
show
was-
me this. Yes.
Yeah.
I like
I'm
it.
pretty proud of this. 'Cause
Oh, it's so good, Mike. It's so good.
I love the song, and then all the footage that I put in just matched it. You know.
Oh, it's so good. Yes.
And the song is really good too.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think this is just before Pascal told me like he was horrified about what we were doing. So I said, okay, let's. I'm gonna redo the beginning a bit. So I started working on the beginning. So I came up with this, and then Pascal came on it just right after I'd finished this, and he told me like how horrible he thought everything we were doing was, and I was like, okay, fuck you. So,
It's ridiculous.
I know. We're
Like,
trying to figure
maybe it
stuff
was-
out. You know.
Yeah. No, I know. It just seems ridiculous he would say that. Like, this is
He had
this is
a
awesome.
meltdown about how horrible he thought we were doing. I mean, you haven't seen the whole thing, obviously, but
Yeah.
we also didn't have all the technology back then, right? Because right now, if I were to do this same setup that I have right now, I probably would have been spending like $6,000.
Yeah.
And I've spent not even $1,000 getting this all set up now.
Oh
So-
wow.
But yeah, we were going to use this at the beginning, and then it was COVID, so I had the COVID
Yeah.
term floating across, and then that's when our logo came in. So this is our logo.
Perfect. I mean, that's perfect, Mike. That's just spot on. So
Yeah.
good.
We could reuse it, you know.
Yeah. Why
So
not?
That was an idea, and then we'll just revamp it with new imagery and all that. Like I'll update it because that was pre-Biden, I think, that we were seeing
Oh, and you
pre-COVID,
have some
pre-Biden.
synthwave there.
Oh, that's not mine. This is just
Oh, okay.
this is someone else.
Cool. But that's gold. That's perfect. Because it like all the imagery is like COVID and like
Yeah.
social unrest and political
And it
violence.
was a lot
and
shorter
all
than
that
what he
stuff.
was doing because his was like 5 minutes, and I think that was only a minute something. So it's
And
a little shorter.
yours is so much better than his. Oh my god.
Well, I had all this. There's like these resource sites, and they have like videos, and what they'll do is they'll shoot sequences of stuff that don't belong. Like there's no, it's not. They're not filming a movie, but they're filming scenes, right? So
Yeah.
they'll do footages of the same actor in a scene, and they would just do these segments, but it's not connected to a script or a movie. It's just something that looks like a typical scene in a movie, and all that.
Yeah.
And they have all these
Totally.
sites with all these resources, and you can buy these resources for next to nothing, and then do your sequences together. So I was doing that just to practice Photoshop or Premiere and all that, to do the video editing and all that stuff.
I mean, we could do that. Like,
Yeah.
if you wanna call it the common nonsense with.
Well, we could, and then I'll just go back to Weathers. That'd be fine.
Yeah, with Weathers and whatever name I come up with.
Well, I like your microwavable. It's cool.
Yeah,
It work.
I just use that. I just use that on like Twitch as my user
Yeah.
handle. And the reason I came up with it is like I kept on trying to like do like variations of Mike and Michael, and they were all taken. So I'm like, I'm just gonna make the longest name possible. Yeah. So I'd be cool with that. I mean, you already have everything. I mean, that intro is perfect.
Well, let's
'Cause those
Let's
issues
go with
aren't
it then.
going away. Like those
Um,
issues are just gonna
yeah.
stay with us.
Do we want to call it? I mean, the common nonsense does sound right,
Yeah. I think
because that's what
I
we're
think it's
talking about.
yeah, and it's a great idea.
But yeah,
You don't-
I won't take it as my name, but it means I have to, because I have my my Twitter account I've changed it to the common nonsense because I didn't know what I was going to do with it, and it's already been checkmarked. I don't know if you
Sweet.
noticed. So we could
Perfect.
use
Because we
that.
don't want to. Because
Yeah.
if we don't have to reinvent the wheel, I mean, that's amazing.
And I would just create a new one as my separate one, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, and
That'd
I
be fine.
can create a Twitter and just sort of get it started. It'll be so small at the beginning, but I don't care.
Yeah, yeah, but then you can like repost stuff, right?
Yeah.
Repost the stuff from the channel and all that. So that's good. So what if next few days you get your stuff set up, like get your microwavable stuff set up. I'll get I'll create a separate one for my weathers account. I think I got an email I can use to start a Twitter on that, so that's my separate one. I'll go to the common nonsense, I'll change the description so it's more neutral, more about the show and stuff. But I'll keep the yeah, because it's already checkmarked and everything.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And then we can go from there. But for the first show with all the bells and whistles and the intros and all that, we're gonna have to come up with. I think we should come up with an agenda and all that, so people will know what we're going to be talking about and stuff. I think our videos should have thumbnails because I've just been letting YouTube decide what my thumbnails are, but we're not going to do that.
Okay.
Do you do any of the like graphic stuff? Like I do it too.
Oh man.
Or do you use any graphics programs?
The only thing I've ever done is use Photoshop to post like images on like a WordPress site.
Okay.
But no, like I've never done video editing.
Okay. Yeah, don't worry about the I mean, there's okay. I don't know if you know the difference, but on YouTube, there's a difference between videos and live. And this is live. So we're doing a live show. Videos could be like we could take like the live show and put it in more editable show like format kind of thing. Right. That or you could take we could do outtakes. That would be more like a video kind of thing. So when you go on YouTube, you'll notice that like if I go to my channel or the channel yeah, I'll change all this actually. The videos could be there because it's just video production for now. And then I can make a channel specifically for the show. Like underneath the common nonsense. And then we could actually further call that something else. You know, we could call it the news show. You know? Or whatever. Okay. And it would be under the common nonsense and stuff. But yeah, I'll work at separating myself from this and bringing it back to an actual channel and all that.
Oh yeah, like whatever you want to do that way. I'm cool with that.
Okay. Did you want to do the first agenda then? And get
sure.
What we should do for the show and stuff?
Yeah,
and then, like come up with the agenda and then I'll start looking for like if we want to do like back our what we're showing with like videos or show examples or point to stuff or other videos online. I mean, I'll do my own research, so not totally stupid about the stuff we want to talk about. And all that.
Yeah, like because we're gonna be looking at news and viewing content in between shows, and and we can just agree upon like a set of subjects. Yeah,
and then
like what have you been looking at?
Well, I've just been haven't been really too focused on anything. I mean, I've just been watching my same old podcast and all that. And Tim Pool was offline for like a few weeks, anyways. So
and the
I've
holidays,
been mostly following the quartering, really.
Cool.
But I think you're right that we should also talk about Canadian stuff for sure. Mm-hmm. The election is coming up in the spring sometime. We should definitely be talking about stuff. Like, do you know the pleb?
I don't know him.
Hang on. Let me bring him up. He's a guy I follow. He's Canadian. He's from Montreal, I believe. Him.
Okay.
He does his own show, and he does a news show, and he's actually pretty good. So just to give you a taste what it's like, we'll just play it a bit. So he has an intro and everything. So.
Hello, everyone.
Woo! I like it already.
Yeah, check him out because he does
Awesome.
show.
Gentlemen, the pleb is finally back. In today's episode, we got to talk about what happened yesterday in BC during Justin Trudeau's Christmas
Yes.
vacation.
I love I saw the clip. I saw this clip on
Confronted
Twitter.
Justin Trudeau face to face and told him to
'Cause he's basically what we're gonna be doing.
out of British Columbia.
You know,
You won't want to miss
So he's,
this
like-
report. Stick around.
I'll look into more of his stuff and start being more, watching him more because I do an on and off thing with him and stuff.
Perfect.
Like if
Before we
he
start this
if he
report,
does
all I'm
mostly
asking
Polyf
is
stuff,
that you
I'll usually
smash the
like listen in
subscribe
to
button
see what's going
if
on.
you're not
But I should
subscribed already.
Be
It's
more
all
inspired by the
I'm
stuff he's doing.
asking
It's very
for.
Canadian.
All right,
You know,
let's start.
but
the
he's
fun.
pretty good.
Cool.
Welcome to your Saturday
Awesome.
report. We have ourselves
The other
quite an
one I would
amazing show
suggest,
here today,
if you
as
wanted something more,
Canadians just love seeing Trudeau get
wanted something
absolutely
more,
demolished.
like Canadian YouTubers. There's also Viva Frey. Do you know him?
Yes, I follow him on Twitter.
Me too.
Yeah, with his spiky hair.
Yeah. He's from Montreal.
Cool.
He's from Westmount. And he moved, I believe he either moved to Florida. No, yeah, he moved to Florida with his family to do YouTubing because of the new laws in Canada.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah,
everybody's moving.
And he's teamed up with this Barnes. He's a constitutional lawyer, United States.
Okay.
He's done some cases. He's fought some cases for Trump, I think, and other popular conservative personalities. So they randomly met somewhere, and now they're like best buds, and they do the show together. It's Viva and Barnes, and all that. But so he does. He does a legal show, like it's mostly centered about, court cases and laws being made, and,
Okay.
and tries to relate it sometimes to Canadian sensibilities, I guess. He is from Montreal, so and all that. So, but
Nice.
I remember during COVID, he did he would walk his dog and do a vlog while walking his dog because it was the only way he could get out and walk the neighborhood during COVID because there was lockdowns and stuff. You had a dog,
right,
you could
right.
you could walk as long as you want and stuff. So he would do a vlog outdoors, walking his dog around Montreal and stuff, and talk about like current events and all that.
Cool.
Yeah, give him a watch when you have time. But I mean, like,
Yeah, definitely.
just to give you other ideas. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones.
There's another. I haven't tuned in lately, but have you ever tuned into some of the True North people?
True North?
It's. I think they have a YouTube channel. It's just True North.
Who's in it?
It's Candace Owens, but then there's
Oh.
Harrison Faulkner is the young guy, and he does stuff.
Okay, and what's her name? Lauren Southern?
I don't know if
She in
she's there anymore.
I think she used to work with Candace
Yeah,
Owens
that's
and stuff.
them. That's
Yeah,
them.
okay.
And there's Lindsay Shepherd, and there's a pretty
Her?
girl who does. Yeah, that's Lindsay
Okay.
Shepherd there, and that's Harrison Faulkner, and
Okay.
that girl who's there, she does like stuff from Alberta,
Okay.
and they're really Canadian centric a lot of time.
Yeah, I can see that. Restoring Sir John A.
Just yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
I see.
just
I'll follow
yeah,
them.
just to get it. Yeah, just to get some.
I'll look through some of their stuff.
Yeah, they have a
Okay.
pretty good news website.
Okay.
But yeah,
Good
just
to
to
know
see,
that.
yeah, just to see what they're focusing on, and
Yeah, and also stuff we want to talk about. We're gonna like think about if we want to like show a piece of a video like on YouTube to back up stuff you want to talk about, or you wanted to like think about stuff like that too, because we can
Yes.
totally do that. Which means, you know, I guess getting a list of URLs we're gonna need to show
Okay.
during the show, because I would have to control it here, right? I would bring it up,
Yeah.
and then we would just go through it and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So also, when you're coming up with the outline, to also think about if you see any videos you want to play, if you want
Sure.
graphics and stuff, let me know. We can
Okay,
definitely
cool.
do something on that.
I can definitely put something like that together.
Yeah. And we said we wanted to do the inauguration,
Yeah.
right?
So
and
we
we're
have
definitely going to
time.
want to track what's going on leading, like, are we going to get an election early spring? Anything related to the election leading up to it?
Yeah.
We'll definitely want to cover that.
I have a feeling it's gonna be crazy. I think I feel like inauguration is gonna happen at the exact same time as a non-confidence vote is gonna happen here in Canada. And it's gonna be
Crazy.
nuts.
So we got a lot of content coming up. So
Yeah.
there's that. Now, here's the other question. Would you be, because right now, other than doing interviews, and even if I do end up working anyways, I could, if you wanted to go for 2 shows a week, we can.
Okay.
But we'll try
just-
with one, just to
try
get
to-
in. But
Yes. Yeah.
if we think we want to do more, we can.
Okay.
Yeah. But we'll try
That would
with
be
one,
cool.
and we'll have to pick a magic day to appear.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. No. Good
try to
call.
take advantage of not getting in front of the YouTubers that obviously draw big crowds
Yeah.
from the pool of people who will probably be interested in the stuff we're doing and all that.
Mhm.
So we'll have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Also,
Good thinking.
When we want to get on, I mean, that means when we get on, that means that we're gonna have to rope off that day as the show day kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that would be perfect if we could get so that we can get quick with our prep and stuff.
Yeah.
That we could ramp up to 2 a week or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that would
here's
be
the thing, too.
ideal, right?
Yeah. And here's the thing too. I mean, I'd be willing to dedicate to something as crazy as, okay, we're gonna seriously do this, dedicate to doing a show a week up until like inauguration day and see where we go from there. Milestones. Like let's
Yeah.
see what we can do leading up to the inauguration. We'll do as much videos as we can. And then once we get to our inauguration show, we'll reevaluate and see if we can keep doing this.
Okay. That sounds like a good plan. Like it'll be the crown jewel show will be inauguration day.
We'll work up to getting that going, and then if we get our shit together, and it all works out, even if we don't get anybody watching, but if we watch it and it looks like something we'll want to watch, then we can decide, like, that we'll do this or we'll not do this, or this is crazy or whatever, But I'd hate to. I guess what I don't want to do is like, do the Pascal thing where we get to, put all this work in and we look, and then he takes a look at it and says, "Oh my God, we're close, we're done," But
and then I'm like, "Damn it, my God, damn it!"
Yeah. But if we aim like little targets, like little milestones, okay, we're gonna build up to doing this live show on an inauguration and try to do a bunch of videos before then and then get to a point where we have a library of stuff, and we can decide from that library that we can like either point it and say, hey, look at our shows, we give it a good go, and you might get some entertainment from it. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And then, or we can decide to go on. We do.
I think it's a great idea because we have to see if we can make it happen. And it's hilarious because with my buddy Pete, I was always joking about, well, why don't we just do a podcast, like jokingly,
And
but half not jokingly. But then, you know, but you're like, no, we should do it.
well, it's
You know what I mean?
it. I think in the end, it's just a matter of just getting to a point where you're consistent, and if you can consistently pump out that one show a week, you just keep doing it. You know, you keep sticking to it until you build enough big enough library on YouTube. I mean, I'm doing the same thing with like gaming videos, right? Like I'll just basically, I'm not doing anything right now. I'm just going to sit here and play video games. I might as well just record my video game. And then I've just dedicated myself to at least doing a video a day.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
now I look back and it's like, oh wow, if you look at my channel now, there's like a wall of videos, you know, and each video is like 2 hours each. And I was just literally like, okay, it's just me dedicating myself once a day, and it's built up, you know?
Yeah. Have you ever
So it's
done
not
that
hard.
Twitch? Have you ever done that Twitch thing, Mike? Twitch streaming?
I have a Twitch
at
channel,
all?
but
Okay.
I haven't really done the live thing there.
Yeah.
I've actually done the wrong places to do live. Like I started in Facebook, you know,
Okay.
because it was the only thing my video card would work with. Because it did a decent enough video through Facebook. Now with this new setup and this restreaming stuff, it's like it's day and night. You know, I can keep doing this all day, kind of thing. You know?
Wicked. Yeah.
So I figured, if anything, we'll have a nice collection of newscasts that we did together, and it'd be fun to look.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
Best
a good
case
vehicle
that
for.
it catches somewhere, and people like watch us and stuff. You
Yeah.
know?
That'd be brilliant.
And we get
to keep up on
as we do it too.
news.
I find, especially when you're doing like shows like this, like if you look at my first video, like even a few weeks ago, compared to what I'm doing right now, it's day and night. Like I went from to like I'm just talking about it, without the pauses and stuff, just naturally flowing into it, you know.
Awesome.
And you'll see the progression. It's kind of cool when you start looking at the videos and you start seeing, oh look, we're getting better and all that. So even that alone is good. You know,
Yeah.
give us something to focus on, and give me something to do.
Yeah, me too. And it'll be a good way to keep ourselves informed.
Yeah,
Keep our finger on
and
the
we
pulse
like
of
talking
some.
about stuff.
We
I think
do.
we do. Yeah, we do pretty well talking about stuff.
I think so, and it's fun.
That's a lot of fun.
And I can I can clean up back here too. Like
Oh,
this
don't
is
worry about
basically.
Oh, this is that floor your dad used to work in, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
okay.
above the garage. Yeah.
Cool.
So I spend all my time in here basically.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get set up, and if you want to get fancier eventually, put a green screen up.
Yeah,
Let
right.
me show you something. Let me show you something. Let me show you this operation and how illusionary this is all. Okay, let me just show you this. Grab this, and where'd my background control go? Hang on. Just want to make sure I still have it so I don't lose it. No, it's not saved anywhere. Oh, wait a minute. Should be saved somewhere. Hang on. Where did I put it? There. So, oh, it's just a black background. Oh, okay. There. That's the green screen I have behind me.
Oh,
See?
cool. Yeah, it looks like a drape.
Yeah, it's a green screen. It's an actual green screen.
Oh, okay.
And it's like stuck in the middle of my room. There's 2 poles on either end, and it's just literally holding this curtain up. But all it's doing, it's just because if I didn't do this, all the crap behind me wouldn't be able to erase it. You know, it'd be too complicated to remove and all that. So that's why I had to put this in the end. It doesn't really take much either. I know I've seen people put literally a sheet up on a string.
Yeah.
You just need to stabilize the background. But actually, your background's not bad. You could actually probably use the same program I'm using, and snuff out the background very easily. I
Cool.
think. Yeah. Because
Oh,
I
awesome.
usually have something like this. Oh,
Looks
here it
like
is.
Tokyo or something.
But-
Ooh, yeah.
I started using this. This is actually the screen of David Tennant's TARDIS
Oh, yeah. Okay.
and all that. So there's like a galaxy, and this is Gallifreyan, like these symbols.
Cool. Cool.
So, but the thing is, like, I think I started using this at work, like whenever I met clients and stuff, and they wouldn't stop talking about my background. I'd get in, it's like, oh, that's such a cool background. How'd you do that? And I
How'd you
just
do that?
learned them how to do it and all that. So it was a pretty good icebreaker.
Awesome.
That's why.
No, I like
The other
it.
reason why I kept it too is because when I was working on X2O, it was like a collaboration system, and it would detect whether you're not looking at the screen, for
Oh.
class and stuff, and it would actually put a symbol saying you're not paying attention. Well, because
Right.
this looks like an eye, it would never do that
Yeah.
on me. So that's why.
Oh, cool. Good call.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's been a really cool background, so that's why I've kept it so far. Hopefully, I won't get
good.
copyrighted for it or something.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah, I don't think anybody notices. So we should good. Oh, and here's the other thing. When you're done here, or when we're done here,
Yeah.
you can take a look at Facebook, and you can take a look at what it looks like and how it'll look
Sure.
on YouTube.
Cool.
It's transmitting there. I'll enlist it on YouTube for now, but on Facebook, you're on my Facebook.
Yeah, I just I
Yeah,
don't
you
go
can-
on there too much, but I'll go
Okay.
on and have a look.
Yeah, eventually, if you want to take a look, you can either go on the Facebook channel or you can go on YouTube, the YouTube channel. On Facebook, it's on my personal account, and on YouTube, it's on the Common Nonsense. So you can take a look at the videos there. I'll be taking a look at it afterwards, and then just this is also this is on Restream, so that means it should be good. The resolution is actually the standard. It's not 760. Because if we were on Riverside, that's the free account. They peg it
Yeah.
to 720p, so
Okay.
that's even below like 1024 by 768 and all that. So,
So Discord.
so it's a good thing we're not using
so-
it. This is actually better.
Yeah.
The setup we have right now, even though we're just using Discord.
Yeah.
it
it's
works.
kinda Cool.
It does work.
Yeah.
And the advantage too is that if we wanted to do like a real life show and have people come in, ask questions and stuff,
Yeah.
I know the quartering uses Discord to do that.
Oh, okay.
So
Interesting.
he has his Discord set up. I'm a member, and you can go there and meet people and stuff. But he has like channels set up for the show, and because there's a segment of his show where he, like near the end, he gets people from his audience to come on and ask questions to all the, like he has Styx, he has Hannah Claire, and he has who does he have now? He has 4 of them now. He has
Cool.
Styx X and Hammer, Hannah Claire from Tim Pool. He has Luke Rudkowski, We Are Change. He has him
Ah,
on
yeah.
Fridays. You like him. And he
Yeah.
has Gothics. I
Oh.
don't know if you know Gothics. She's
that
I think she's
The
one of the geeks and
black-haired
gamers.
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But she
that
does
girl.
political stuff now and then. And all.
Cool.
So she has a show now as of a few weeks ago. So
So he's
Yeah.
got a whole crew.
yeah, he basically he pays them too. I mean, they ain't
Wow.
doing this for free. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah. But I
And
mean,
if we want,
he's got the whole coffee company too behind him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Coffee.
You
Baron
mentioned
Coffee.
that. You mentioned
Yeah,
that the other
apparently he's
day.
doing well. He set up a coffee store online just before COVID, and apparently he does well. And
Okay. Yeah.
he's probably making Like he's probably like David's Tea, the way they began, right? Because they began with just a simple like online store and stuff. So he's probably doing as much as them in the beginning
Oh,
for all
because
for sure. Because
there's
with all
always
his
call for coffee.
like all the followers he has, instant customer, like because he
Yeah,
has all these followers and stuff, and they buy his coffee and stuff.
yeah.
But his site's pretty pro. I don't know if you've ever seen it. His coffee site.
No, I haven't seen his coffee.
It's pretty pro. Like he ain't messing around. Wait, where'd it go? Oh, is that it? No, it's not it. Yeah. Coffee brand coffee. Here it is.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. See, it's pretty
Nice.
pro. I bet you he does lots
Whoa,
of this.
that's great.
Yeah. He's apparently a marketing person.
Okay.
And I think he got into YouTube because he was into Magic the Gathering. And then
So he's
he
a
famously
gamer.
got excommunicated from the Magic the Gathering community because he called somebody out for being a pedophile
Oh.
and all that. So,
Oh,
but
you'd
before
think they
that,
would
he was
have given
supposed to
him
be
a
like
medal.
he was like a top Magic the Gathering player, and was in like some of the big competitions for Magic the Gathering. And then when he called that, I think it was somebody who was part of the Magic the Gathering production company, the Wizards of the Coast, those guys.
Yeah.
And he called somebody from there a pedophile, and apparently it was. So, anyways.
Interesting. Yeah, you'd think that they would have kicked the pedophile out instead of him, but
Well,
oh man.
I mean, more things to talk about, of course, but yeah, even Magic the Gathering / Dungeons and Dragons, they're pretty
Yeah.
left. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the impression that I've got over the years. Like they've gone that way. Like
well,
even because I used to play a little bit, and even
they've
some of the
hijacked everything, right?
yeah, it's
Like,
kind of it's so stupid.
like they've hijacked Dungeons and Dragons of all things,
Yeah, I
and
know.
they've gotten to the point where the changes in the rules were so ridiculous that people just, no, I'm just playing 5th edition, I
Yeah,
ain't following this new shit,
yeah,
you know.
exactly.
I mean,
Because like
they were doing
I was playing
stupid
it a
things
lot.
like, well, they're doing things like, I mean, these are orcs, these aren't human beings and stuff, and they play a
Yeah,
role, and they're doing all this like this DEI bullshit in Dungeons and
were they
Dragons.
really?
They
Wow.
were,
Because
you know.
I was kind of aware of D&D like when I was playing back like 10 years ago or more, and the rule books were okay. Like they were every once in a while, like it would be instead of he, they would use she, and I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, well, that's the
But
least of the bullshit.
I guess it got progressively worse. Eh? Jesus.
Well, yeah, to the point where there's rules for disabled characters. Yeah, you're in a fantasy world where you can be anything you want. Why would I want to play a disabled person? You know?
That
I'm
is
pretty sure disabled
hilarious.
people wouldn't want to play a disabled person.
Oh my god.
It's called escapism. Where you don't play
Jeez.
yourself.
I'm a level 10 wizard in my magical wheelchair, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, it has rockets on it. Same thing in Doctor Who.
Oh my god.
Like they had to squeeze in a disabled person with a wheelchair that has missiles on it. This had to be a thing.
Oh.
You know?
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Oh my
I
god.
recently watched. We recently watched Chaos on Netflix. You ever watch
Okay.
it?
No.
Yeah, it's they basically do a modernization of Greek myths, and
Okay.
Zeus, for example, is played by Jeff Goldblum, who's like
Oh
he
yeah.
plays him as a neurotic, of course, neurotic Zeus who's like obsessed with like making sure the humans fear him and stuff.
Mhm.
And so like he'll do stuff like he'll like kill all his servants, kind of thing. So he'll stand there and have them line up on the edge of a building, and he'll like skeet shoot them by telling them to jump, and
Right.
he'll like shoot them with a shotgun kind of thing. Anyways, there was a character, uh, the character of Daedalus was played by
Yeah.
a dude who had malformed arms, like really malformed arms, and I thought that was cool. I thought that worked.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that was a really good way to bring in somebody disabled. Not like, oh, this badass sits on a wheelchair and like he has missiles on it. You know, in a fantasy setting. You know,
Oh my god.
we had to really make it so that he had a wheelchair, so that the wheelchair people feel represented.
Right.
Did you hear about the thing in Doctor Who where they removed Davros from wheelchair because they didn't want to associate like Davros's like wheelchair because he's like the most evil character in Doctor Who. They didn't want to associate like disabled people with Davros, so they made Davros like walk again.
Right.
You know, when the whole point
No,
of Davros was that like he
I
was supposed
misspelled
to
that.
be he was supposed to be he wanted I think he was frail, that's one, but the thing is he was so obsessed with making the Daleks that
Yeah.
his wheelchair was important because it made him more like the Daleks.
Exterminate.
He had the wheelchair, right? He had the wheels and stuff, just like his
Yeah.
creations and stuff. And they wanted to change it
Oh.
because they didn't want to associate wheelchairs with evil people.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my god.
You know,
That's
this
so
is
funny.
fantasy. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's very important to like not. I mean, the whole point of fantasy is not to represent reality.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
That's hilarious. And then the person who actually initially wrote the script is like, no, it's not what I
Yeah.
wanted.
I know.
Oh
Whatever.
my god.
Anyhow,
Yeah. But those
That's
are
what-
great issues. Like,
that's what we should be talking about. You know?
yeah, especially like in the culture war, all the fronts in the culture war.
Yeah.
Um,
Like-
yeah, definitely.
We could do stuff like when we're doing the outline or coming up with a show outline, stick to 4 topics, 5 topics to cover. Just 5 topics, as long as they take. You know?
Sure.
And just come up with 5 or 4.
Okay.
And
That's a
our
good
show.
idea.
And we
And we
stick to
can did you have a length in mind, Mike, or
it.
like a half-hour show or
At
like
least
a
half an hour.
hour show? Yeah.
An hour would be good.
Maybe
But,
hour would
you
be
know,
good.
But we can go as long as 2. But an hour would be good. Consistently an
Yeah,
hour.
yeah.
And we just fill up with like these hour episodes would be great.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, 5 topics, an hour.
5 topics or an hour.
Yeah, that's great. And we can rough hew as we like, ad lib as we like. Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
I mean, come on, it may be
Oh.
better to come up with an outline at least, but no
Mhm.
scripts.
yeah, that
just going
anchors
to-
us.
Yeah. So we're going. So I'll do that, and then we.
Sweet.
Whatever we show on video was. So we don't have to redact. kind of
Yeah.
thing. You know. So you good with that?
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And I'll
We're gonna have- So whatever you want. It's even better than what we.
Good, good. Yeah,
so-
the Discord.
Discord as basically like with our cameras and stuff. And
Sweet.
when we're
Yeah.
let's
Sure.
and then
This
just do our first.
This Friday, I'm night with my friends.
Okay.
But
Okay,
let's do Saturday.
we'll do and see.